What's going on, guys? Welcome to a episode of Fit Business. I'm Matt Weik here with Jimmy Mentis. What's good, brother?
What's up, Matt? How are you, man?
I'm good. Staying busy.
You are so busy, man. I don't know how you do it.
Hey, I just try and fit it in when I can.
Well, you know I'm going to bust your balls every episode we do. Is one of my covers back there yet?
No.
All right.
Well, you got to get on something that I write for.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. not because what you write for is just me getting on something.
We'll have you do a comeback.
Yeah, the comeback. That's the plan. The comeback.
What's new with you? I know you're staying busy.
Yeah, very busy. I had a little. We had a little episode with not little. We lost our dog, and man, that's tough.
Oh,
a lot harder than I thought, man. And I don't know. This is my second dog in 3 months. The first dog I lost was my brother's. It was Bubba, who was like my dog. He was a boxer, and that was really tough. Really tough. And then we had Chewy. That happened last week. Those are the only two dogs I've lost my whole life. And I keep hearing people say, "Oh, I lost my dog. I lost." I'm like, "Yeah, oh yeah, I can empathize." Is that the word? Empathize? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just don't know. You don't know. You can't breathe. You go home and you're just lost, man. You're just lost. So we've been battling that. We've had our good days. I mean, I'm laughing, and all of a sudden, boom, I start crying. So if I start crying, all of a sudden, just, you'll know why. But we're good. We're good.
Good. Again, I'm sorry to hear that. That's never easy.
Yeah. Business good. I got some new products coming out, as always. A couple more countries, in the books. FIBO is happening right now as we speak, in Germany.
Is that who you were on the phone with last night?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's a big expo over there, and there's some distributors that go there. So because I didn't go because Chewy decided to stay back, and I did some business overnight.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. What do we got today?
All right. So today we're gonna pick apart who's to blame. Now.
Oh no.
Now, to give people some background, obviously you have training clients that you work with. I have training clients that I work with. And we have people who get fantastic results, and we have people who, quite frankly, don't get any results.
Right.
Whose fault is that? Is it our fault because we couldn't help those individuals? Or is it the individual's fault because they either didn't follow the program or they just fell off the wagon? So what are your thoughts on this?
Ooh, that's a good question. When I first started training people many moons ago, and that was, there's different types of training, right? There's one-on-one training, and there's also now internet training, okay? But can we define what training is? Okay, because nowadays when someone says I'm training someone, that means that they're just giving them a diet. Okay, it's not. And maybe they go do all their exercises and or they give them a workout program. But back then, training was defined as one-on-one. We both show up at the gym. I take someone through the exercises and stuff like that, right? And then if they do their diet, they do their diet. If you're certain certified nutritionist, you also can write out a diet, or you can quote recommend, right? So let's define what is training.
So let's talk. I guess we have to talk about it holistically, but at the same time, you have trainers who aren't certified to give nutrition advice. They're not a sports nutritionist or a dietitian or something like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not against that, because I know many guys and girls who are a master in nutrition that don't have a piece of paper.
That is true.
All right. Truth be told, I got mine about a year and a half ago. I know a lot more than many people.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you have a piece of paper doesn't mean you know everything. You might not know shit, but you don't have that liability.
That's what I was going to get into with that whole thing.
Liability, right?
Right.
You always have that liability. If someone wants to get to you, they get to you, right? So,
right.
To answer your question, maybe a percentage of it, 1% of it is, I think it's both people's faults. The trainer and the trainee, because it's teamwork. And it's a matter of respect. When the client has respect for the trainer and the trainer has respect for the trainee, magic happens. Because nobody wants to let the other person down. And then when nobody wants to let the other person down, a open line of communication is created. So I'm sure you've had clients that would do something for 2-3 days, and you know they're going to get a certain amount of results, and they don't. How do you handle that?
See, here's my approach, and it kind of goes back to and circles back to my business as a whole. What I do with my business is I try and educate people. I want people to learn the skills necessary that they can apply to their own life. So for instance, my articles, I want to give you the information that you can read, understand, break it down into, the easiest form possible so that you can digest it and go utilize that in your own life, whether it's lifestyle, business, nutrition, supplementation, training, whatever the case may be.
All right.
Me as a personal trainer and sports nutritionist, my goal is to do the same. I want you to come to me. I want you to pick my brain and just soak up as much information and value that I can give you. And then I want you to politely go away.
Right.
I'm not one of those trainers who, hey, Jimmy, we're going to work out 3 times a week, basically until you die. Like, I'm not that type of person. Like,
right.
There are people who will want to train because they want that one-on-one attention. They're very particular. They want to make sure their form is correct. They want that motivation. And I get that. And that's 1000% okay. But for most people, they just don't know what the procedures and steps look like to get the results that they want. So that's where I want to come in and help them get to that point. Now, if I have people that I lay out a plan and let's say we're just meeting once a week and
right.
then they're on their own for the rest of the week, they just come to me to, beat the hell out of them, once, do something different and just train them differently than what they're currently doing. A nice change of training, so it's not stagnant. That's fine. But if every week you come in and your weight is going up, and not because of lean body mass, because of body fat, I'm going to start questioning you. Well, what are you doing the other 6 days that I don't see you? Because I don't train at a gym per se where I would see that individual come in every single day and train on their own. I have my own business to run. So what I have actually done, and I'm going to sound like the biggest jerk, but I give people a few chances. If you don't show up for a training session, okay, you better have a good excuse. If you come in every week and you're not getting the results, there's something going on that you're not telling me. Because if you're following the diet and you're following the training, you're going to get results. And I've fired clients and said, look, it's just not working. This isn't a good fit. I want to see you get results. I want you to be committed. If you're not committed, I can't pull that commitment out of you. I can't force you to do something that you don't want to do. And a lot of times these clients, they're getting the information put in their head from their doctors. You should go work out. You should go eat, a more sensible diet. They're not doing it for themselves. And therefore that motivation isn't, intrinsic. They don't want to do it for themselves. So I put a lot of responsibility on my clients.
Okay. So if you had a checklist,
yep.
Okay. If you had a checklist, what are your top 4? I'm going to say 5 because there's a shitload of things you can put on that checklist. Okay. What are your top 3 that you recommend trainers to have on that checklist to be successful in that client, with that client? Remember, there are also clients that say, hey, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And sometimes they don't want to learn. See, those are the clients I don't like. Those are the clients that I used to have, and I didn't want to train. I want clients who they're a dry sponge that just want to soak up information, right? People that told me, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't want to know anything about it. I don't care how much money they threw at me. Okay. So your checklist, if you had one checklist that you can post right here for other trainers to see, or potential trainers, or somebody who wants to, go into training, what are your 3 points that you would? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, I'm thinking oh shoot.
Yeah. Your one eye went this way, your other eye went this way. But I know, there are 3 top that you would tell someone how to be successful in handling their client.
I guess to me, knowledge is probably number 1. Because if you don't know what the hell you're talking about, as they say, you don't know what you don't know. And you can only bullshit your way through life, for so long before you get called out, as we've seen numerous times in our industry. So knowledge is definitely number 1. You better know the needs and this knowledge,
experience.
It's going to fall. Knowledge is going to fall under a whole bunch of different categories. Experience, knowledge of your client.
Yeah, but you're going too far here. Hone it down.
All right, knowledge.
But knowledge is too much. It's way too big.
You're going even more specific.
Yes. Is it experience? So see, if you're telling me knowledge, you're talking about book smart too. Book smart don't get you shit in training. It's experience.
I would also throw knowledge in there, because definitely experience, because you have to have, some type of experience under your belt to train clients.
Okay.
I mean, you don't know what you don't know. But for me, I go back to the knowledge aspect of it, because if you have a client who, but this ties in with experience.
Yes.
Because you have to have the knowledge of how to work with certain clients. Do they have some type of disability? Do they have some type of illness, sickness? Did they just have surgery? Like you need to know how to work with those people.
All right.
So that's tough.
So can I turn around and say a trainer is like a doctor? The longer he practices, and he'll always be practicing, right? Gets out of med school after 30 years? It takes him right?
Right.
And how good does he get? He gets as the best he can be the more he practices. And when you meet a doctor and he says, well, I've been practicing medicine for 25 years compared to the doctor who's been practicing 5, automatically we go, oh, the guy with 25 years has more experience, which is not always true, because the younger guy might have the newer techniques, the newest technology, and experience. So I'm coming back to the top 3. If I was new and I came to you right now and I said, Matt, give me three bullets to become the best trainer in the world?
I still go back to education or knowledge, experience, and your personality. Your personality has to enhance your clients. So for instance, if you have somebody who's a go-getter, like, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go, and you're like freaking Eeyore, like, okay, guys, let's 5 more reps. Like they're not going to need that. So you need to be able to adjust your personality. And I'm not saying to change as a person, but you need to mirror what that individual needs. Obviously, if they themselves are, an Eeyore, you need to get them pumped up and motivated. So you need to be willing to take that. So I'd say personality, you have to have some type of personality, because if you're just a douchebag, you're not going to be able to be successful. Education or knowledge and experience, because going back to that, experience and knowledge, I almost have to separate, because you can have somebody, like you said, who's been in the industry for 30 years, but they're using information and strategies from 30 years ago. Obviously things have changed. So there's a lot of differences. Like, people aren't necessarily doing, low intensity, steady state cardio anymore. Now the big thing is HIIT cardio, but you could have somebody who's stuck back in the old days doing older methods and methodologies. So that's why I would have to go back to bring the knowledge in, because as you said, new research is coming out every day on new strategies, new methods, new techniques, and you have to be, on top of that to just help your clients get the results. Plus, it gives you more tools in your toolbox that you can give your clients to help them, get the results that they're looking for. It's not just, this is just the one way that you have to do it. You have to have that flexibility and knowledge to be able to say, this isn't working. What can I do next? Oh, this is what I could try next. So that's why I would kind of separate those.
So you got the client, the trainer client thing going, money's paid, diet is written out, training has started. Results aren't there. How do you go about that? Whose fault is it? Like, this is what we're talking about, right? Whose fault is it?
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to point the finger immediately. And that's why I said that I give my clients multiple chances, because if I lay out a program that I know should work, by the book, by the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. I mean, especially if you're in a caloric deficit, you should be losing weight unless there's something metabolically wrong with you, which is a whole nother topic. But that being said, make some minor adjustments, tweak things a little bit. And again, if they come back the following week or in 2 weeks or whatever, and they still don't have the results, more than likely they're BSing you and they're not following the plan to a T. So, I like to put the blame on me, because I'm a very individualized person, in the sense that I want everything to be on me. I guess that's kind of, as a business owner, and I, there's nobody else to blame.
You take responsibility. So,
you need to have empathy towards maybe they're just having a rough week. Maybe, their dog passed away, or their mother passed away, or they were sick that week, or their kid's schedule was just insane. And they didn't follow the diet, not because they didn't want to, but just because they just didn't have the time. And again, that's an excuse, and I don't like excuses. But you have to empathize with people's situations. So that's why I don't want to tell people, hey, I'm sorry, but I can't work with you anymore because you're not getting the results, because I know you're not following it. Have some empathy, figure out what's going on. Maybe you guys just aren't clicking. Maybe what you're saying is going in one ear and out the other. So I really think you need to sit down and understand where that client is. What's going on in their life? Is it you're pushing too hard? Are you not pushing enough? So you need to, and that's where you talked about, you need to have that connection with your client, because if one side is pulling, the other side is pushing, things aren't always going to align. So that's why it's so important to sit down, and I'm not saying you have to be best friends with your clients, but at the same time, you want to have that relationship and that open dialogue where you can say something and your client's going to give you the truth. not say, oh, I followed my diet to a T.
Right.
No, just be upfront with me. Hey, man,
No.
my kid wanted to go eat at McDonald's. I went and I ate McDonald's.
Right. There are three things in mind. Number one, you got to keep it fun.
Yep.
Number two, you have to keep the authority. You have to have authority over your client. You can be friends, but you have to hold that authority. Okay? They have to have that fear in them that they might disappoint you. Okay? That works. Maybe a lot of people don't like what I'm saying, but that works. Okay? Number three is to have an open line of communication. What you just said. You can, hey man, you know what? I'm not having a good day. I'm not having a good week. I will pick my ass up and I will get to it in a couple days. And that's when that open line of communication. But during that open line of communication, that authority kicks in. And what do you say? All right, let's go. Make sure on Thursday, get back in it. Let's go. Right? And right after that, I would turn around and say, because it happens all the time. Right? It happens all the time. I would turn around and say, okay, let's change it up a little. Okay. I believe many people stop doing what they're supposed to be doing on their program is because their expectations are way out there. They're seeing these people drop weight and in 3-4 weeks, and the first week they lost 5 pounds, 6 pounds. It's freaking water.
Right.
And they expect to lose another 3 pounds, 4 pounds the following week, and another 4 pounds the following week. And again, we're talking about people who are the everyday person, right? And they say, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds, and they see the results and they feel good. The first thing they do is they feel better. Now, the guys and the girls who are competing, that's a whole different story. That's more detailed. They've been through that grind before, and they understand that their weight might stay the same, but their composition changes.
Right.
So whose fault is it when they don't look the way they're supposed to look on stage?
Oh, you're going a step further. We're not talking about, the everyday.
Well, you're talking about the human person. You're talking about the human being. You're talking about the human mind. You're talking about emotions. You're talking about results.
But we're even taking it a step further now of not just losing weight, but stepping on stage. That's like another level of what, the average person would have to think about and consider.
Yeah, but the average person hides under the clothes. See,
correct.
Someone can weigh 160. Say you take a woman that's 5'3" and she weighs 160 pounds. Okay, I don't know if that's heavy or not. I just picked the number. Okay, so I think 5'3", 160 pounds. Unless she's built muscle like me, I think she's got some weight to lose. Right. So she loses 15 pounds. She went from a size 14 to a size 10. She's feeling like $1 million. Kudos, right? But when she puts a bathing suit on, she doesn't look the way she wants to look. But she went from a size 14 or 15 to a size 10. Everything's starting to fit her. But now she says, I don't look the way I want to look in a bathing suit. Summer's coming. You still have to have that physical appearance. See what I'm saying? It's very hard, and a lot of trainers get blamed for that.
Well, I think it goes back to having realistic expectations, and I blame.
Whose fault is it that they don't set them?
Well, it's the trainer's fault for not setting realistic expectations, and
you know why?
Why?
Money.
I agree.
They find clients, or clients come to them in the most vulnerable position and saying, hey, I can help you lose weight. I can do this. And sometimes when you find those clients, when you find those people in that vulnerable position, they open that checkbook and they keep writing checks. And some of those trainers is what have given us, and many of us, a bad name.
And the funny thing is, and I probably already told you this story, I look at TV shows like The Biggest Loser as you might as well find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow because it's not realistic. I sat down and had dinner with one of the competitors who was on, I think it was like season 2 or 3 of The Biggest Loser. And they laid it all out there. And contractually, they're not supposed to talk about it. So I'm not going to say her name. But the conditions that they were in, Jimmy, I can guarantee you never even thought about doing this back in the day as, you know, strategies to get ready for competition. The stuff that they had them doing, I mean, they had them on prescription diuretics. They were limiting their food intake and their water intake, exercising in a heated gym that was well over 100 degrees every single time for multiple hours during the day. They weren't allowed to leave the house that they were staying in, so it's not like they could cheat on their diet. And then the scales themselves are fake. The weight that they're actually losing, while their body is changing, and you can see that from week to week to week on the show, the scale is not accurate. When they would leave the show, what they would weigh is not what they would actually weigh on the show. Everything was a front, a facade. It was fake. And you know, I lose respect for the trainers that are on that show for duping Americans into thinking that this is realistic, that you can lose 30 plus pounds a week. Like, that's not healthy. So not only are you giving fake numbers, but it's not realistic. And you have people who are going to go out and say, well, if they can do it on television, because this is what I'm seeing.
But it did.
Well, then I have to be doing that in the gym.
Right. But it did.
What do you mean it did?
The Biggest Loser was a huge brand.
Oh, absolutely.
And it really inspired and motivated people all over the world.
So, without a doubt.
So they got what they wanted.
Correct.
What happened, though?
But they're leading people into this mentality of, if I'm not losing 10, 20, 30 pounds a week, I must not be doing something right. Or, Mr. Trainer, Jimmy, I should have lost 20 pounds last week. What's wrong with you? You didn't get me the results that I'm, used to seeing on The Biggest Loser. Like, it's so then who do you blame at that point? You're like, well, shit, like, you're losing weight. You're losing, say 2 pounds healthy every single week, which 1 to 2 pounds a week is a very healthy range to lose per week.
Right.
If you lose a little bit more, like you said in the beginning, it could be water weight.
Yeah, but Matt, if you're obese, you're going to lose the 5-10 pounds.
Right? Exact. If you're in that type of condition, correct. Right. But once you get to, a common ground of, you might be overweight, but you're not, morbidly obese. I mean, let's face it. You could have somebody who's morbidly obese do minimal exercise and still get some pretty decent results. But eventually it's going to plateau. They're going to hit a certain body fat that they're going to stay at, a certain weight that they're going to not see the scale move at, and then they're going to have to change things up. But for the everyday person who's carrying around maybe an extra 20, 30 pounds, maybe more, you're generally going to be seeing that 1 to 2 pounds. Maybe up front you're going to see more because of that water weight. But I think we put an unrealistic expectation on people when they see certain results, or even in the magazines, of what's really attainable.
But I don't know if we've answered the question.
Of who's to blame? We just dance around it. Go ahead.
I hope people add their comments into this, because this is really tough. I've blamed clients before, but I knew down deep inside afterwards I should have kicked their asses in. I literally think, and I know I'm gonna freaking kick myself in the ass. I literally think it all starts from the trainer.
I agree.
I really think I'd love to I'd love to blame the client. Okay. Um, I really I really think it all starts from the trainer. I think the trainer should know what's going on right from the get-go. And if that's not what they're looking for, if the table's not set, then they shouldn't sit and take anybody's money. Continue to take anybody's money. Now, on the other hand, there are some that will just keep going and going and going, and all of a sudden something clicks. I've had that before in the past. I've had that with a competitor bodybuilder in the past. Okay. And they just clicked and like, oh my God. But I think a majority of the blame is the trainer.
I agree. And I view it as you're a personal trainer. You're a business. And
you're a doctor, basically.
Yeah.
You're a therapist.
And it's your business to give people results. So as a business, just like, with our business relationship, if you don't like the service that I'm providing to you, you're going to go elsewhere. And then I'm going to have to figure out, okay, was it my fault or was it Jimmy's fault that he decided to go off and do something different or not get the results that he wanted? At the end of the day, it's a business. So you have to look at your personal training business as exactly that. How can I keep this client happy? How can I get this client the results that they're looking for? And how can I keep the ball rolling with this? I mean, you have to treat your client as if it was somebody on the other end of a table. We're signing contracts. We're going to get you in shape. How are we going to do this? Here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. I sign here. You sign here. Boom. That's it. Let's go. From there, you massage the relationship just like you would a business. I'm going to push you, Jimmy, to the limits until you say, Matt, I don't want to do that with content, or nah, I don't want to do that with my copy. And likewise, you have to treat the same with your client. If I push too hard, this client's going to think I'm, mean. If I don't push enough, they're not going to get the results that they want. So I think personally, it all comes down to the trainer. And when I said in the beginning that I have to fire clients, this is tough to swallow, but that's my fault. I can't reel them in. I can't make something click to make them say, okay, Matt's the real deal. He wants to help me. I'm going to stick through this and I'm going to do what he says. If I can't get them to be on board with the program or the techniques that I'm utilizing, that's my fault. And you know what? I have to let you go because I'm not a good fit for you. That falls on the trainer.
I think this can be another episode, and I have a couple of trainers that I like to bring on board. Maybe we can do this on another show. But I want to kind of end with this, if you allow me to end with this. When I ran Gold's Gyms, Powerhouse Gyms, and I own my own gyms, there was a personal training division of obviously these clubs, right? And the first thing I did when I gathered and I hired these trainers was the psychology of a person, of why they're coming to hire a personal trainer, right? And there's only one word I told them that is written on their forehead. Do you know what that word is, Matt? Help. And I said, don't ask them any questions. You already have the answer. They need help. Give them help. Provide that help. Whatever you got to do, you do it. And before you know it, it was very simple. That had hit me once. And every time I built the personal training division in any club I was in, it was very successful because I saw that word on their forehead and I didn't need to ask any more questions. So I want to leave with that. I don't know what you have to say. I want to continue this. I want to continue this on another episode. What are we? Episodes, shows. What the hell are we? You know, and bring on some good trainers. And I like to hear what they do, because I really don't train a lot of people anymore. Me, it's, hey, it's an internet thing. Here, do this, do this. It's more of a here's a tip, or here's some advice. I just saw that you have, if I'm not mistaken, are we allowed? You got the Washington Redskins or something like that?
Yeah, I work with a few NFL and NBA teams.
Okay. Now, what happens if they don't listen? And
Well,
you know they don't listen. I've worked with NFL guys, and I'm just not cool for them, right? So, is it your fault? Hold on to that, because we might be bringing some pro players on board too.
I think it's cool to get their insight on that, and we want to hear from you guys too that are listening and watching. Who do you think is to blame? Are you a trainer? Do you put the blame on your clients if they don't get the results, or do you look at it internally and say something's wrong with the way that I'm helping people or helping this individual? And it doesn't have to be, your fault all the time in terms of, no, listen, if none of your clients are getting results, that's absolutely your fault. One of those three things that we talked about is not there. So it's absolutely your fault. But let us know in the comments, whether it's on YouTube or over on our Facebook page, Fit Business over on Facebook. But let us know. We love interacting with you guys, getting your input, getting your feedback, and it gives us more inspiration and ideas to bring to the show. So by all means, let us know in the comments, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. We love to hear from you guys. But with that being said, I don't have anything else. Jimmy, do you have anything to close with?
I'm good. I just another episode in the can. It's good talking to you. We're just gonna get better and better and better, man.
Awesome. Well, definitely look forward to upcoming shows. We're gonna look to bring some people on, whether it's athletes, trainers, maybe some celebrities, who knows. But stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode. We're out.
Peace.